Hello, and welcome to Brand Clarity by Visions to Images, where we focus on strategy and business development for entrepreneurs at all different levels through branding and digital marketing techniques. Susie Liberatore is the founder and art director of Visions to Images Creative Services, LLC. For the last decade, she has personally been instrumental in bridging gaps between the global digital market and neighborhood locations for some of the biggest brands around. Growth is possible for even a single location with the right professional branding techniques and Susie's signature strategies of Visions to Images. Stand out from your competitors and bring your visions to life while watching your sales skyrocket. Your host for this is Susie Liberatore, owner of Visions to Images.
Hello, everybody. Today I am talking about the recession. I know, bad news, right? Like, here we go again, some more recession stuff. But no, I want to talk to you guys about recession and marketing, right? A lot of times when the economy shifts, so many people want to pull their money out of stocks or out of marketing or out of sales budgets or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's personal or professional. A lot of times people want to pull back. And here's the thing. I have not pulled out any of my funds or any of my money anywhere. I've actually been spending more, to be honest. I actually hired some more team members, etc. But when it comes to your marketing, you don't want to pull your money out. You don't want to pull it out completely. You might pull back a little bit, but you don't want to pull back completely. And here's why. Here's one of the main reasons why I tell you this. And that is because if you pull your marketing money out and your competitor down the road is putting more marketing money in or is staying where they are, they're going to be seen over you. Like, I've seen this happen during the pandemic, and I'll see it happen again during the recession where people are just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pull my money. I can't afford it, or I don't want to do that, or my competitors are pulling their money back. Okay, those are all horrible excuses to pull your money back, right? Like, think about really and truthfully why you want to pull your money back in marketing. During a recession, they always say, buy low and sell high, right? So you want to buy when the economy sucks in stocks. So they tell me, I don't know if this is true or false because I'm not a financial person. I mean, the same is true in your marketing, right? If we think about it from that approach, we don't want to just give up and walk away from our marketing and not have nothing. We actually want to invest a little bit more or stay where we are. And it's just the nature of the game. And I know with ads right now, they're expensive and people are saying, I can't get seen, I can't get visible, my ads aren't working, all of the pieces, right? And if you have a plan and a strategy in place, you can absolutely make it work to your benefit. But I want to really just dive in with you guys and talk about how you can do effective marketing during a recession, right? Like, I could sit here and go on and on about the recession, and I don't know much about politics and economics and all that. I want to talk to you about marketing specifically. So there's a couple of different things that you can do today for your marketing and onwards during this recession. So one of the things that I want to say is market to your existing clients, right? You have a base of customers, regardless of what industry you're in, regardless of anything. And what happens is you already have people. They always tell me in marketing, it takes 10 times longer to convert a new person than it is for an old person, right? And new meaning a new customer and an existing client, right? If we can keep existing clients, it's easier to sell to those people rather than selling to somebody new. The chances are so hard, especially during a recession, because they don't have that trust and authority when the economy is not doing too well. And so having a loyal customer is going to be beneficial to you during a recession more so than having to find a new customer, right? If you have to find a new customer, it's going to take that much longer and harder to do during a recession, especially because you don't have your loyalty and authenticity built in that sense. So existing clients are amazing during any of these hardships, right? Let's talk about how can we get those existing clients. We need to target them. We need to do Facebook ads. We need to do email campaigns. Can we reach out to these people? Can we send text message marketing, right? Like, what else can we do? Can we show up on social media and do some throwback Thursdays of our customers during this or that, or however we decide to do it, right? But you market to those people. And the biggest thing that I think of when I say like market to your existing customers, for me personally, I reach out through an automation system, one-to-one kind of system, and send some ideas, send some thoughts to them, ask them for the next steps, right? Or I can email a campaign blast but it's got to be very strategic in how you do it. We don't want to be spammy and just say, "Oh my gosh, buy from me," right? So there's a toss up between how to really do it and what you should do. But that's number one. Number two is really lean in on consistent branding. As you know, I am a huge component on consistent branding. It's important no matter what time frame you're in, whether you're in a recession, depression, whatever, like it doesn't matter. You need consistent marketing. When I think about the big brands, they have consistent marketing and they're selling because of it. You have to develop a plan of how you're going to have that consistent look and feel. And I talk about this day in and day out, right? Like you need to have the same colors, the fonts, the personality, the same story, the same look, the same feel. If you're a store, like you want to make sure that everybody's getting the same experience all the time. And then you also want to make sure, your website is consistent with everything else in that brand component, as well as SEO and blog posts, and then the digital marketing end of things. So social media, how can your brand be consistent? And how can all of this convert, right? Even if you're doing ads in print magazines, it all should look and feel the same. During this time, you want to empower and encourage your audience, right? Sometimes people take news and politics and things like that, and they make it into something funny, something harsh, something very bad. I mean, I'm sure we've all seen over the years, stuff that hurts us, doesn't resonate with us, or makes us think differently of a company. It's a sensitive subject for many. I mean, there's so much going on in this world. Stay out of all of that. Instead, find ways to make your audience feel good, right? Like, let's not talk about the economy, the recession, the shootings. Like, we don't need to talk about all of these things all the time. We get enough of it. You're not a news company. If you're a news company, do it. If you're not, okay, what do we need to do? So how can you really empower them, right? You really have to understand, be sensitive about things. How can we empower people? Are you going to empower females? Are you going to empower stay-at-home moms? Who's your audience and how can you empower them and encourage them? So you want to make sure that you can really relate to them, be sensitive, be thoughtful for whatever you post. Let's not bash things that we don't like or don't approve of, right? Keep that for your own opinions on your own time. But on your business page, it should be very sensitive because people are very sensitive during any kind of change in the economy or in life or whatever. I mean, think back when COVID first started. I know people were super sensitive and super concerned about COVID. To be fair, that was fine, right? Now we're kind of 2 years later, we're like, oh, it's just COVID. It's the flu. I mean, it can affect people differently. Don't get me wrong. I've had people pass from it, etc. But when we first had COVID, people would joke about it. They would say it's not real. There's not statistics. There's not all these things, right? And regardless of whatever you think, who knows what is true or false, right? Like, we can't justify that stuff. So instead, what I actually did back when COVID started was I created these little graphics that people could put on their social media page, support small businesses. Here's how to support small businesses. We wear masks here, whatever it might be, because people wanted to know, are we wearing masks at this place? Because if not, I might not support them. If I am, great, I'm going to support them, right? Like, everybody had their own opinions and thoughts. We want to be sensitive to those people. And it's the same with the recession, right? Like, if you're having a sale, don't up your prices just for the sale. You know what I mean? Like, really understand, okay, I can relate to these people and I'm going to encourage them. I'm going to have a huge sale because I care about these people. I need to get rid of inventory before the holiday stuff comes in. I want to just let them feel great and have a great shopping experience. So I'm going to do a quick sale, right? That's another great example.
Hey there, I want to interrupt this episode with a quick message. If you're listening to this podcast episode and want to learn about branding your franchise or small business, then go to brandingbridge.com. That's branding-bridge.com.
People are very cautious about their money. People are cautious about where they're going, how they're going, right? So you have to be careful about people's finances in a sense of, if it's not a necessary thing that they need, they might not buy from it and sales might be down. Again, this goes back to how can we convert? How can we really make them feel good? Let people know your hours you're open. Let people know what you're offering. Engage with your customers. It's no different than any other time, to be honest. It's not different. I mean, the money is different in a sense. Sure, things might be harder to come by. They might be higher in price, but it's definitely not much different. As far as marketing end of things go, you're still doing all the same stuff. If you pull out of your marketing completely, it's like starting over again, no matter if it's in a month or 2 or 3, right? Like you built your audience, you can't just stop, especially if your audience is used to seeing you as many times a week as you are. So this goes back to how you can help support people, right? So your emotions are higher when you're in a recession or a pandemic or anything to that extent, right? So you want to make sure that you're very sensitive and you have the same brand message and core values so that nothing is going to offend people necessarily. Of course, you might have one or two that people get offended by. It happens. But make sure like your website, your emails, your social media, like if you want to go and support something or not, like make sure you are aware of it and go all in. I mean, some people were supporting the Ukraine when there was stuff going over there. That's a great way to support it because the emotions could be high for everybody. So if you're one of those people, definitely support it. If it's not in your wheelhouse and behind your brand messaging, don't support it because you're going to get your audience confused and aggravated, and it's just going to cause more problems. The last thing that I want to cover is this kind of ties into everything as a whole. So the last thing I want to talk about is you can host a giveaway, whether that's on social media, in person, or even just hosting a happy hour, right? Like what would get people to come to you, not only now, but in the future, right? If you do something amazing now during a recession, they're going to come back later. If you take care of customers, they're always going to come back. If you host a giveaway, I know giveaways are kind of low on the list, meaning that they're not as popular, right? Like we can't do, oh, like my page or whatever you want to do with that. Like, but host a giveaway in a sense of, let us write us some reviews. And you can totally just do this through email. And once they sign up, once they give you the review, they're automatically entered, right? Giveaways can be extremely hard to come by if you don't know what you're kind of doing and envisioning. But I want to say that it's possible to use it, right? You just have to know how you want to target it and use it. I've had a customer before do write us a review and you'll be entered into getting a grill, right? And then people get it all the time, or give us some referrals and you can get into that end of things. So there's plenty of ways for you to really target and market during a recession. And these are just a few different ways. And a lot of them are just refreshers, right? Like nothing here is probably something you've never heard before. And if it is, awesome, implement it. It matters more than it did before, right? So if we want to win, we have to show up and keep showing up. Like I said, I've invested money into my team over the past month or so and didn't cut back on any fees, so to speak, right? Like I'm investing full blown because I know this is a short-term thing, right? Just like COVID, we knew it would bounce back. We're still dealing with the after effects for many businesses, but we know that there's a future, right? So we can't just say, oh, I'm going to pull everything out and hurt my business. And like I said, your competitor down the street will have better results because they're showing up more and more than you are. And you better believe it if they're doing paid ads, etc. Like those people will definitely show up in ways that you can't when you pull your marketing budget. I hope you're able to take away that marketing is important at all times. And there are ways to keep going, and we shouldn't just stop completely. You can pull back if you would like to, but I would not ever stop completely, right? So just kind of think of that as with an open mind of how you can adjust your marketing during this time. I mean, I hear it all the time, oh, business is slow, business is tough. I blame COVID, I blame the recession. We can blame it all we want, but what are we doing to take an action step today and for the future, right? I mean, this isn't the first time we've been through a recession. This isn't the first time we've been through all of these different things. It's just a different approach, and we need to adapt and adjust. That's the great thing about marketing is always adapting and changing, right? We know that social media, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, everything is changing. Every day I get notifications of different stuff happening in the social media world. And your audience might shift, your location might shift, right? So there's always things happening, and it's no different than what's going on in the world today. Everything is just shifting, and we learn how to adapt. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message on visions2images.com. That's visions2images.com. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for listening in on today's Brand Clarity episode with Susie Liberatore. 2 things. First and foremost, please, if you liked this episode, please subscribe and leave some positive reviews. Also, don't forget to sign up for Stop Sending Your Customers to the Competition and get my insider secrets to compelling branding that converts. You can find that at branding-bridge.com. It's a free workbook for you to check out right now. All of the branding techniques and strategies that I use for my paying clients.